Your seats. We'll begin the program shortly. Good morning. I'm Major Thaddeus Espy, Director of the Tulsa Police Training Division. Welcome to the Tulsa Police Academy. If anyone is still left in the aisle, if you'll please step out as we begin our program. I present Class 2020-119. Everyone, please stand, as the Tulsa Police Honor Guard will now present the colors. Singing the national anthem is Apprentice Police Officer Jackie Marte.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Presenting the Pledge of Allegiance is Apprentice Police Officer Adam Colbert.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Order. Colors.
Tulsa Police Chaplain Reverend Danny Lynchard will now lead us in the invocation.
A reading from the ancient manuscript of Judges. And evil people prevailed against God's people and forced them to live in fear and hide in the mountains and the caves and the strongholds. They invaded the land in such numbers it was impossible to count them. And the Lord told Gideon to select an army, and Gideon chose 32,000 soldiers. The Lord said, "Dismiss all the fearful and weak," and 22,000 went home, leaving only 10,000. And God said, "There's still too many. Send away all who are unwise, inattentive, and do not take their job to heart." And 9,700 went home, leaving only 300 to face a multitude. And God said, "With these few I will save my people, for I will give them wisdom above weapons, valor in the face of fear." And Gideon's army completely defeated the Midianites, and God's people were safe again. Our Heavenly Father, these are Gideon's army, a chosen few chosen by you. We ask this day that you give them the courage of David to stand against the Goliaths of our day, the wisdom of Solomon to be fair to all people regardless of race or religion, wealth or poverty, and the compassion of Christ so that they may become an extension of your hand of healing to our community. May the power of your presence strengthen them. May the blessings of the Lord overtake them. May your angels encamp round about them to keep them safe. Amen.
Everyone, please be seated. Again, I'm Major Thaddeus Espy, and I'd like to introduce those on stage. Chief of Police, Wendell Franklin, City of the Mayor, Tulsa, G.T. Bynum, Fire Department Chief, Michael Baker, and Captain Wes Phelps. I'd also like to recognize Deputy Chief Eric Brooks, seated to my right. Due to COVID-19, we had a limited attendance to our graduation ceremony due to the social distancing guidelines. Thank you all for patience and understanding. We'd also like to thank Captain Richard Muhlenberg for facilitating the live streaming of this event. Thank you for coming and sharing this graduation of these apprentice police officers to sworn police officers. Typically, our audience is full of representatives from city, county, and state government and other law enforcement agencies who work with TPD to make our community safer. Although not all could be here today, their support is ever near. These include the City of Tulsa, City Council, the Tulsa County Sheriff's Office, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, the Fire Department, the FBI, the United States Attorney's Office, the State Attorney General, Mike Hunter, Office of the District Attorney, Steve Kunzweiler, City of Tulsa Attorney's Office, Tulsa Municipal Courts, Tulsa District Courts, and the Council on Law Enforcement Education and Training. To these agencies and the other area law enforcement agencies who support TPD, as well as their families and friends of the Tulsa Police Department, thank you. Seated in front of us are 22 police officers and 1 fire marshal. These officers have completed 30 weeks of rigorous training that began on September 21st, 2020. Before they were selected to train as police officers, each candidate had to pass a rigorous application process. This process took 6 months to a year and was very rigorous. In the academy, they have completed more than 1,053 hours of instruction, which included legal instruction, firearms, defensive tactics, driver training, report writing, and officer survival. While those topics have always been basic for being a police officer, the modern police officer must be trained in so much more. This class has also had hours of instruction in community policing, de-escalation, dealing with those in mental health crisis, reversing opioid overdose, and recording all their actions on body-worn cameras. We have trained them to be modern police officers who do more than just take people to jail. While still in the academy, we expect them to develop a connection to the community, to become leaders, and they responded. This class raised over $14,720 for the Special Olympics participating in the polar plunge. These men and women demonstrated the dedication expected from modern law enforcement officers in the academy, both through their academic achievements and community engagement. Following graduation, these officers will transition from officers in training to officers in training and will complete a 16-week field training program with seasoned field training officers in one of our 3 patrol divisions. Finally, upon completion of the FTO program, 11 months after they started the academy, these new Tulsa police officers will be assigned as patrol officers in one of our 3 patrol divisions. And I know that they will continue to carry on their record of excellent performance, community engagement, and leadership. Each class elects a class member to represent the class in their class review. APO Darryl De Ross will now present Class 2020-119 class review.
Hello, my name is Darryl De Ross. As a member of the Tulsa Police Academy Class 2020-119, I would like to thank everyone for joining us here today. I would like to thank all those viewing online as well. It is my great honor to have been chosen by my class to speak to you all. My career in law enforcement began in 2007, and while I'm speaking today as representative of Class 119 and a peer to all its members, I've decided to focus my speech on 3 topics which I believe are important in the lives of successful law enforcement officers. Excuse me. Present before you today are 23 apprentice police officers who have just completed 30 weeks of academy training, some of which include training in such fields as criminal law, defensive tactics, firearms, driving, traffic enforcement, and mental health. And while the number of training hours and the quality of training received by Tulsa Police apprentice police officers far exceeds the minimum standards set by the state's law enforcement governing body, known as the Council on Law Enforcement Education Training, or CLEAT. I feel there is some value to impart upon my classmates the importance of never ceasing in your efforts to train. I've observed countless officers who have at various points in their careers and for various reasons decided to stop training and endeavoring to improve professionally and often personally as individuals. While all officers in the state of Oklahoma are statutorily required to complete a minimum of 25 hours of training annually, it is within these minimums that poor performance resides. It is important for the professional and personal development of all law enforcement officers to never cease training and to internally view themselves as lifelong students. Such introspection was frequently spoken of by Tulsa Police Academy cadre and Tulsa Police instructors throughout our training, often by the use of phrases such as be better and suck less. A law enforcement officer's ability to look within themselves, find their weaknesses, and shamelessly endeavor to improve upon them are among the differentiating factors that separate successful law enforcement officers from those that have adhered to minimum standards and subsequently allowed for a less than desirable service to be provided to the citizens they have sworn to protect and the colleagues they serve with. Do not be afraid to ask questions, improve upon your weaknesses, and seek out the training and education required to honorably serve the citizens of Tulsa. Regardless of the career field, nobody likes working with someone who does not work hard. Worse than a lazy colleague is being the recipient of substandard service. And even worse is being the victim of a crime that receives substandard police service. I know these things because I have experienced all of this prior to and during my career in law enforcement. It was a result of one such experience, negative experience in college, that motivated me to never provide another person with anything less than my best service. While it can be easier to skip steps, talk victims out of reports, and forgo any extra effort that could lead to further developments in a case, it often sets a precedent that leads to habitual laziness and negative thoughts and beliefs held by the public regarding law enforcement. Working hard to provide high-quality police service is contagious. It is inspiring, and it is motivating. Providing citizens with such service is one of the most fulfilling functions of this profession. When colleagues see you working hard and know you have a reputation for providing high-quality law enforcement services, they are either drawn to you or they decide to hate you. While it may seem odd to say, following the events of the past year, which include an ongoing global pandemic and national protests and riots against the police, I tell my classmates today, be contagious and make some haters. If you accomplish that through hard work and dedication to service, know I will always follow you and support you. Lastly, I would like to address the people that have supported my classmates and I throughout the process of becoming Tulsa police officers, our families. While we may all have started at different points with the Tulsa Police Department, it all truly began during the first day of the police academy, known as Indoc Day. For many of our families, it was shocking to see our returns home at the completion of the day, as they got to see us tired, stressed, and consumed with completing tasks in preparation for the following day. Prior to the beginning of the police academy, I told my wife the academy would be an incredibly selfish time for me, simply because of the amount of time and energy I would have to devote to it while at work and at home. I do not think either of us were truly aware of how much time and energy we would both have to devote to my completion of the academy. But I am blessed to have her as my wife as I take this next step in a career that I share with her. I would like to impart upon my classmates that a career in law enforcement will impact your family. That impact does not have to be negative, but it is important to cherish your family, respect them for all the sacrifices they will continue to make as you begin working strange hours, never sitting with your back toward the door in public, and constantly talking about work. Throughout my marriage to my wife, I have learned the lifestyle law enforcement has imposed upon us requires that my career is in fact our career, because without her, it could not exist. The realities of this may be more or less prevalent in the lives of some of my classmates. Regardless, I ask all my classmates to cherish those they are close to, as they can be incredibly valuable while enduring some of the highs and the lows this profession has to offer. In closing, I wish all my classmates well. I know you all have the potential to accomplish your goals. It has been a long 30 weeks with you, and I'm glad it's over. I wish nothing but the best for all of you. I would like to thank Chief Wendell Franklin for hiring all of us. I would like to thank all the staff involved in the hiring process. I would like to thank all the training staff for the patience and dedication to train us for 30 weeks. I would like to thank all the instructors, both sworn and civilian, for taking time to teach us. Lastly, I would like to thank all the Tulsa police officers, both active and retired, whom I met prior to my employment with TPD, that made me feel like I would be a welcome addition to the Tulsa police family. Thank you for your time.
Each class is directed to create a guidon, which represents their class. This Tulsa Department tradition dates back to 1995. APO Barrett Chastain, APO Ryan Roloff, APO Matthew Shipman will now present the guidon for class 2020-119 and explain its special meaning. At the conclusion, the guidon will be passed to one of the recruit class coordinators so it may join the others in display at the training division.
Good morning. Class 2020-119 Guidon is a representation of our country, our city, and our chosen profession. It's a bringing together of the police department and the community we serve. On top is our city skyline, as seen on the new TPD police vehicles. On the bottom are the stripes of our country's flag. Both come together in the thin blue line within our city's flag. And the predominant feature of the guidon is the badge that serves as the promise to protect our city and to serve others above ourselves.
Along with these features, the Class 2020-119 motto, "Through adversity we persevere," is displayed across the thin blue line, as well as the words Class 2020-119 on the Tulsa flag in the downward stripes. Thank you.
Attention. Right. Ready. Step.
For each class, the Fraternal Order of Police Auxiliary presents awards for the Academy Top Scholar and Top Shot. Please welcome FOP Auxiliary Representative Cassandra Newman.
Good morning. Just 5 years and 1 day ago, I was sitting in this same audience attending my husband's graduation. It is my honor as current president of the Tulsa FOP Auxiliary number 93 to present awards for the Jared Shoemaker Top Scholar and Top Marksman for the current graduating class. The Jared Shoemaker Top Scholar Award is going to be presented to Barrett Chastain. Congratulations. And the Top Marksman Award is going to be presented to Dustin Thomas. Congratulations, welcome to the TPD family, and be safe.
The Tulsa Police Academy began a new tradition in 2019, awarding the top apprentice police officer with an honor graduate award. This APO has achieved the highest average score in all aspects of academy training, including academics, firearms, law enforcement driving, and physical fitness. This APO is truly at the top of their class. The honor graduate for Academy Class 2020-119 is Barrett Chastain. Sure. It is my pleasure to present to you the Mayor of the City of Tulsa, G.T. Bynum.
Well, first I want to congratulate you on that being the first time I've seen your guidon. It's a point of great embarrassment for some of your predecessors that it was stolen and brought to my office for a picture to go on social media. So you guys apparently were very vigilant in keeping it. So congrats. You know, this is, it's so inspiring to be here today and to see this class, to see the people who have supported you through this process. My relationship with the Tulsa Police Department has gotten a whole lot more personal in the last year. When I was on the city council, and I would say my first 3 years as mayor, For me, it was always very important to do all I could to support the department because public safety is the most important thing we do at the city. Everything else that we do as a city, if we're going to thrive, people are going to have good lives in Tulsa, if their businesses are going to grow, if they're going to be able to get a good education, all of that is reliant on Tulsa being a safe place. And so, in those first 11 years of my time at City Hall, I would say that it was important to me from a policy standpoint, but in the last year, it's become a lot more personal. Last summer, things got a little crazy. In the middle, as was pointed out, in the middle of a pandemic, some folks got a little out of control and decided to make my home, where my wife and kids live, a target of repeated protests. And in that time, my family got to know the officers who were there to protect them, to get them out of harm's way. And I relate to that experience, not as a mayor, but as a dad. Right now in our country, it is open mic night for everybody that has something bad to say about law enforcement. And I'm so thankful that my 14-year-old son and my 11-year-old daughter, they got to know officers as people. They got to see what our officers actually do every day. They got to know the remarkable people, the selfless public servants that today step up to put on that badge and defend our city. And as a dad, I'm grateful that they got the opportunity to have an alternative to that caricature that is the public narrative right now. And so, on behalf of a city, I'm here to tell you, and this is something else I saw last summer, again, because of difficult times, this city and the people in this city love the men and women of the Tulsa Police Department. And I don't say that casually. I mean, they love you guys and ladies. They love you for the work that you do, for the sacrifices that you make. There's a very noisy group out there that will take every opportunity to try and belittle the work that you do. But the silent majority is out there, and I saw them last summer. And they're not on Facebook lighting up the comment section or protesting because they're at work and raising their families. But they love you. And they're so grateful for the work that you do. And so as you're going through this job and you hear the negative voices out there, please remember, for every one of those, there's 100 people in this city who love you and are so thankful that you serve in the Tulsa Police Department. Very similarly, I want to thank your families and your friends who supported you in this vocation, and that's what it is. It's not a job. It is a calling. It's the only way you end up in this department. I want to thank all of you for the support that you give the men and women in this department. And it's really important to me that you know that you have a chief and a mayor who will have their back, who will do everything that we can to make sure they have the training and the equipment and the colleagues to do their jobs as safely as possible. I want to thank the training staff here. There is no department in America that has higher standards for acceptance than the Tulsa Police Department. We maintain the highest standards for our training academy. And Major Espy, on behalf of the whole team here, I want to thank you for making sure that these men and women are ready to go out into the field and do their jobs safely. And so lastly, I just want to say thank you. On behalf of 400,000 people in this city, we are so grateful for you and your service. Anything that you need when you're doing this job, my door is always open. I will always be here to serve you. That is my job as the mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Next, I'd like to introduce Chief of Police Wendell Franklin.
Well, good morning. Let me point out a couple things to you. Okay, we're going to loosen up a little bit here. Chief Michael Baker is on the stage. He's the fire chief. And I wanted to be inclusive because he wants to be a hero. So we thought we'd invite him up on the stage also. So much so that he also has a firefighter that's graduating from our academy that will become a fire investigator that works right alongside our police officers. So he even has firemen that really want to be policemen. So we put them through our academy as well. Thanks, Chief Baker. Also, sometimes I notice little things, and I'm a stickler for details, and I noticed that Major Espy gave the name of one of our deputy chiefs that's present as Eric Brooks, and that is now going to be his nickname. It's actually Deputy Chief Eric Dagler, so just wanted to point that out to everyone. And I'm not. Don't worry. I won't. I won't hold that against you, Thad. I've got 2 points for you this morning. Guitar and professional athlete. Those are the 2 points. So, I need some help here from the audience. Is there anyone who plays a guitar? No one's going to raise their hand. I'm not going to ask you to play. I just need... All right, well, no, okay. How many strings are on a guitar? Thank you. 6. 6 strings. I wanted to make sure I was right. So I thought I'd ask a professional. There are 6 strings on a guitar. There are a finite number of tones that come from a guitar. If you take those 6 strings and you blend them together, they can create beautiful music. Let me switch to the professional athlete, see if I can bring this all together. Let's just take basketball and football as an example. Basketball and football players make millions of dollars to be professionals. The basketball players go through all of this training. They have coaches. They have a regiment where they train shooting the basketball with the purpose of putting the ball through the hoop, right? Putting the ball through the hoop. Every single shot that they take is designed to put the basketball through the hoop and to score points. Football players are the exact same way. An offensive coordinator designs plays for the offense that are designed on every single time. They are designed to score a touchdown. So we have basketball players that shoot the ball for nothing other than to put the ball through the hoop and to score points, more points than the opponent. And we have a football team that has an offense designed to score points on every single play. But they don't do it Does a basketball player score every time he or she shoots the ball? No, they don't. Does a football team score on every possession? No, they don't. I'll answer it for you. If that were the case, if they scored every single time, then why have a game? Then why would we have a timed game? Why wouldn't we just have 1 minute? Because the last person with the ball would always win, right? Let me circle back to law enforcement now. We have always had to operate within the confines of the law. Those strings on a guitar, we operate within those strings. No matter what legislation is passed, no matter what new crime comes out, we always operate within those strings. Those are our boundaries, and we don't step outside those boundaries. We can't. Our policies are always going to change. Our policies are constantly changing. The laws and ordinances within our city and state constantly change. The techniques and the equipment that we use, it's constantly changing. There's always something newer, greater, better. But we always operate within the boundaries set forth by the people. That's what our job is. That's what we do. So, you can train all day long, but you're going to make mistakes because we're human. And I did not peek at APO Ross's speech beforehand. We didn't collude together to come up with this. But we train. We train because we're human. Every athlete trains because they're human. Because we want to be at our peak performance when the time comes. When you graduate here today, don't neglect this place. This place is open for you. It's open for you to train. It's open for you to come out, work out, get physically fit. We have classrooms available. We have material available. We have a shooting range available. It's there for you to hone your skills. And you will have to do that outside of the normal training that we all go through. Don't neglect training. Because in training, we strive for perfection. Just as the athlete wants that ball to go through the hoop each time he or she shoots it. We want to be right every single time. Is there a sports team that settles for second best? That at the beginning of a season says, guys, we want to be number 5 in the country. I think there is. Does Nike strive to be the number 3 sports apparel? Doesn't OSU strive to be, sorry, bad analogy there. I won't use OSU in any of this. In 1997, it doesn't seem that long ago, but I know for some of you young, 1997, I graduated from this police academy in this same room, and the guidon that we had, we came up with the motto of good enough never is. Good enough never is. We chose that because training is constant. And you can't just say, it's good. No, we strive for perfection. And so today, as you graduate, I want to congratulate you all, but don't neglect yourselves. Remember, train, train, train. You now have the attention of the world. Like it or not, this is what you signed up for. And I say the attention of the world because at any given moment, we can be thrust into the national spotlight, which then turns into the world spotlight. But that's what we do. And you are well prepared for it. Every life now depends on you. It's on your shoulders. Congratulations, class 119. You're going to do amazing things for this community. And as the motto on the new police car says, One Tulsa. We are one Tulsa. Despite what anyone else tries to tell you, we are one Tulsa. Congratulations, class 119. You guys good? You ready? Okay. I will now administer the Tulsa Police Oath to Office. Class, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Having been duly appointed a police officer of the City of Tulsa, and a peace officer of the State of Oklahoma, do solemnly swear that I will defend, enforce, and obey the Constitution and laws of the United States, the State of Oklahoma, and the Charter and ordinances of the City of Tulsa, that I will obey the lawful orders of my superior officers, and the regulations of the Tulsa Police Department, that I will protect the rights, lives, and property of all citizens, and uphold the honor of the police profession, with my life if need be. This I solemnly swear this 16th day of April 2021. This I solemnly swear this 16th day of April 2021.
Upright, please. Up down, please.
I present to you class 2020-119.
Now's the time we've all been waiting for, the presentation of the badges. I'd like to introduce Assistant Training Director, Captain Wes Phelps.
Okay, as your new officer's name is called, we encourage you to celebrate with them. Cheering and catcalls would be appropriate. Class 2020-119, each officer will now come forward and receive their badge. Guests, please feel free to move up and take pictures when your officer is called. Barrett Chastain. Adam Colbert. Shelby Elmore. Casey Frederick. Patrick Garner. Philip Gerard. Megan Hill. Greg Johnson. Michael Josephson. Dalton Loving. Jackie Marte. Rodney Mullinax. Carla Perez. Natalie Ramirez. Ryan Roloff. Darryl Ross. Matthew Shipman. Aaron Stiles. Dustin Thomas. Kevin Tran. Tristan Walker. Alan Weckhorst. And Allison Weiss. Ladies and gentlemen, class 2020-119.
Before we end the program today, although it's not in, I feel compelled to offer Chief Baker an opportunity for rebuttal. No? Okay.
We'll help the class.
I want to, before we end, thank the Academy staff, both the full-time instructors and the dozens of part-time instructors who've dedicated time to educate these officers. Specifically, I'd like to thank Lieutenant Will Tolliver and Sergeant Billy Hirsch, who have served as training supervisors. And the class recruit training officers, Aaron Bidding and Jeremiah Spencer. In total, these are the trainers who have worked day to day to ensure these new police officers are ready to go to the streets. Great job and thank you. In a few moments, we'll close the ceremony and the class will be dismissed. We invite family, friends, and loved ones of our newest police officers to come forward and pin on their badges. As you depart, if you've not had a chance already, please take a moment to enjoy the TPD special equipment displays, which are in the back parking lot. These are brought to us by Major Laurel Roberts of the Special Operations Division, who is seated over there. Did I get your name right? Okay. But first to the families and friends of our new officers. Thank you for being here today to witness your police officer graduate from the Tulsa Police Academy. Each officer has made significant sacrifices to achieve this goal, and your support of them through this process and this challenge has not gone unnoticed. Your sacrifice and support is greatly appreciated. Thank you. We've trained them to work safely, and we trust that they will be successful in protecting the public, their fellow officers, and themselves when danger confronts them. And to class 2020-119. You've sworn the oath of office and joined us in the greatest career on earth. It's your duty to defend what is right and protect the citizens of Tulsa. For 30 weeks, you've announced your class motto, "Through adversity, we persevere." Now go protect our city. This concludes the graduation ceremony for class 2020-119. After the class is dismissed, please come forward to congratulate our newest police officers and pin on their badges. Officer Bidding, Officer Spencer, dismiss your class.
Up team, hey!
It doesn't end 6. It doesn't end 16 weeks from that. It doesn't end 20 weeks from that. Come this far, continue going, continue serving, continue what you've shown me is absolutely. I'm proud of every single one of you. And I'm proud that I can call you my first official class. It's pretty freaking awesome. So. You're dismissed.
Thank you all. Please come forward. Come on up, folks. Come on up.
So, how do you get in?
One in the middle in my book.
Go where you want. Yeah.
No, you're fine. No,
Oh, wait.
no, you're fine. Go ahead.
Wait. We're taking pictures. So proud of you.
Please sit here. Excuse me. Sorry. There you go.
All I ever like we're as professional as you.
That's okay.
I'm gonna stop.
You're perfectly fine.
We're good. What do I hit? Just this?